trying to hear you though.
Is this Miss Davis?
It's what, Miss Davis?
Is this Miss Jasmine Renee Davis?
Oh, I'm Jasmine Renee Davis.
Okay, this is Officer Aguilar with the City of Racine Police Department. I'm calling you in reference to a situation you have at Jerstead Middle School.
Oh my goodness. They got something crazy going, something that is very inappropriate going on. What how do you spell your name?
Officer Aguilar, Aguilar.
Okay.
My badge number is 1845.
Okay, I appreciate that information. I called many times and I called in December of 2024 because of how inappropriate they were with the individual education plan at Jerstead Argo Home with my son Tyrell Edward Morris. Okay. They referred to my son as polite and kind, but they're abusing me for some reason. But this has been going on and off. There's a illegal chips case right now in Kenosha, Wisconsin. For some reason, I was chapter 50 when I had a criminal case, right, from 2023. But then, like the day after court in July, I kept getting approached by like different members of the Kenosha government community, such as their public library citizen arresting me. I was just in my car with my son. They call Kenosha Human Development Service, which they're identity thieves, but they are contracted agency now and plan to be in Kenosha for 50 more years. I don't see how they could possibly do that. It's inappropriate. They are making people mentally ill. They're illegally falsifying documents. Um, you know, and only way somebody can be on their program if they're mentally ill. So they had me on their programs being dishonest. They said I did not qualify for their programs, but then they still were had me on something called a victim of crime uh act program or something, and I didn't even know that I was on the program, and I told them to take me off, and then a year later they still had me on it. So they were making money off of me. But then also what's important is they just kept approaching me. The Kenosha Police Department met someone called at Gateway Cafe and said that I appeared to not be able to like I didn't have any money to pay for my food for some reason. I don't understand how they profile me in that way, because I was going to Gateway Cafe, and every time I went to Gateway Cafe I would literally buy stuff, and I would spend at least $20 in there. So they knew who I was. I didn't understand what was happening. But I got chapter 51. The police officer said that if I don't buy something, I have to leave, and I had like cash tip in my hand, and I was going to pay with my card, but I was trying to just look things over. They told me in 10 days they were going to probably send me to jail for incompetency. They were going to try to put me on some bullshit, man. I didn't know if I was going to live or die through it. It was very messed up, and they said they were going to try to take my son. So I was just trying to get myself together, just be with my son as much as I could. I was chapter 51, but Kenosha said Racine put it that Racine. I was on a chapter 51 out of Racine. And it wasn't.
Okay.
It came from Kenosha. So then I was dealing with that, and then they had took my son from me and my daughter, but never told me when I was at Rogers during the chapter 51. They did not tell me about any of the court cases though, right?
Okay.
Throughout the whole court case, even went to trial, they put a warrant out for me. Okay, I had to actually learn from other people eventually, like chapter 51, like the next day or whatever I was supposed to go to court. They did not tell me about it. They did all the stuff illegally. Okay, and so it's really messed up. And they were trying to say that I was having seizures and stuff. I never had a seizure before. It was so weird. It was strange. But then I had called. I said, well, I heard that you all are having court. What's going on? But they didn't allow me to attend any of the court dates. And then I got a warrant out for my arrest. So then I couldn't go to the courthouse and get the court dates. They wouldn't tell me over the phone. I got a warrant from the criminal case because I was in a hospital. So I couldn't make it. And so I was like, damn, I'm really messed up right now. Okay. And then so they went to all. I was calling. The public defenders weren't telling me. Then the one public defender said that he had COVID and that he was out of the office and he was gonna like talk to me when he returned. And I didn't. I suppose I said maybe they dropped the case. I don't know anything about it. I'm gonna try to figure it out. I'm gonna wait till he called me, and then I'm sure he's gonna tell me when court will resume. And he didn't. And they went to court without me, and they stole my son. And then I went to jail, and then I had to go. And then these social workers, they've been dishonest. I've been making so many darn reports. They run a timeout where I was able to see my son, but I so they would say, oh yeah, we want you to see your son too. And I'm like, okay, let's make an appointment. Oh, we're sure you want to see your son. We want you to see your son too. So they were making like a bunch of just, like default replies to me, but they weren't really trying to meet with me. And then they were telling the judge that I was being inappropriate. They were trying to provoke me to anger and just doing a lot of different things that is just really inappropriate. So then in January, I got this case from AT&T, and AT&T had stolen money. AT&T store, I got to go to court tomorrow actually, but they had stolen money out of my account.
Okay.
And made like two account.
Jasmine, do you live in Kenosha right now?
Why are you asking me that?
Because if this chapter happened I'm just trying to figure out if it was in Kenosha or who did it, as you're telling me what's going on, so I have a better understanding.
It was from Kenosha Police Department.
Okay, do you live in Kenosha right now?
I don't have a permanent residence.
Okay. Okay.
Why? So, but I answered the question, but then you still want to know. So, what is the relevance of me being that chapter 51 is over, but the case is in Kenosha?
I was just wondering if you lived in Kenosha. That's all.
I'm not claiming anywhere. As I was born in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I'm not claiming anywhere. I'm not a resident of Racine. I'm not a resident of Kenosha.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't have to I don't have to be a citizen of anywhere. So, but what I'm saying is, so then, the things happen, and AT&T store stole the money from my account, the one on Mount Pleasant on Washington and Green Bay Road. Okay, they Washington Avenue, but they kept opening prepaid accounts, taking the money, having me pay. They called the police and they told me like I cannot get that I had to get a free phone, that I couldn't pay for my phone. I was like, I just want to pay for it. I don't want a free phone. I just want to pay for my phone. I want to go. I have to meet with this person about my son. And they were like, no, they called the police on me. And so the Mount Pleasant police, that their manager said that I had to get a free phone, that I could not pay for my phone to come back the next day. It was so strange. And when I went, they still wouldn't let me get the phone. They called the police and trespassed me from there. I walked to Metro PCS on Ohio and was that Washington. And I said I want to get two phones, and I found that I could only get one. I said, this is strange. I know I had the money, and I called to the program that the institution, the financial institution, my money, and they said that AT&T did steal my money. They swiped my card and had opened 4 phone accounts. And they were like $50, almost they're almost $50 for 4. But then they returned 2 of the accounts but kept 2 open. And then in January, so I went to jail, right, for no reason. It was so messed up. They lied and said I was yelling at their customers. When I had called 911, it was so messed up. I didn't even yell at their customers. I was outside. I wasn't even around their customers.
Okay.
And so then I missed the appointment. And then they went to court and said, now I have to have a psychological. So they're doing everything they can. They're not participating with me on this chip case. Then they sit there and try to make me have a court-appointed attorney. This attorney's not doing what they're supposed to do in Kenosha. They're ignoring me. It's just a fucking mess. And then so the school is keeping me out of my son's education. And then they said, okay, they emailed me about first I had a parent-teacher conference. And I'm asking them all the valid questions. For some reason, it's like they're hacking into my phone too. Please take note of this. It's something that they're doing, because all my other screen records work, but for some reason when I go to record with them, then it's muted. But their principal has been on my fucking Facebook pages. He's been watching me on Facebook. I have the screenshot. I don't appreciate that, especially more now where he gonna tell me that I don't have permission to record my son's individualized education plan today. And they all had their cameras off. Like, what the fuck are y'all hiding? Because you let Racine newspaper and anybody else come in there and take pictures. Why are you hiding your face in your public school? Okay, fine. But then, but also, I know they're gonna try to bully me and tell me that they don't give me permission and I can't record. I say yes, I can. And plus, Wisconsin, I know I can record. I don't care what they have to say. It's a court case that's illegal, right? Like, seriously, I'm literally fighting them, like trying to prove myself and my, through education, through the process. I'm going to make sure I bring awareness to this whole thing that they have going on. This individualized education plan is a legal binding agreement, and they have been violating that and not legally holding through with what is being said. They have not been able to let me tell them what I want from my son. They sit there and they force him. I'm not on public aid, right? I'm not on food stamps or anything, but they're forcing my son to be on public aid. And I don't appreciate that. I don't like how Summers Elementary forced my son to be autistic and then lied to me and told me that in order for him to have an education diagnosis, he had to have a medical one. That is not true. And education, if the school does an educational diagnosis, they cannot tell me or force me or say anything about medical. And they did. And they diagnosed my son with autism and never did any blood work, but they put the medical side of it so that it can back up them diagnosing him with that kind of thing. So they ruined his life in school from the beginning. But he went into school reading. He knew right away, do his alphabets, all that. I taught him that before he went to school. People kept telling me, put him in school. And I really was trying to keep him and teach him, but it was so much pressure, okay? And so I've been dealing with this mess. But there are errors in the individual education plan. They never want me to talk now. I don't know what the hell is wrong with them. What could heck be the problem, okay? And then Aguilar tried to talk to them, like, about these things. And I have just notes about corrective actions, to review the timelines, to talk to them about the commitment of the resources for my son, Tyrell Edward Morris. I want to talk about the present levels of academic achievement and functional performance, to measurable annual goals like plans, specific special education and related services, a statement of how the my son progress will be measured. Instead of them calling him a student, they have to call him legally a professional, because he is actually putting in work. And I don't like this whole sweatshop idea that they're doing. I promise I know what I'm talking about. And these people are trying to fucking destroy me and terminate my parental rights and hold me in contempt of court. And a contempt of court means that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. But if they terminate my parental rights, they can try, if ever I have any baby or anything, they can try to steal my baby from me, any child that I have out my womb. So they're trying to hijack me. And then they cannot terminate my parental rights unless I'm dead. Or a clinical death. So a clinical death would now them trying to say that I'm mentally ill, this type of bullshit like that. And it's illegal for them to be doing me like that. And Racine Unified School District is working with the whole fucking thing. And Kenosha is too. And so I have been bringing awareness. I have emailing, making sure y'all's mayor, Corey Mason, knows about this stuff. I've been putting his information in the emails. Kenosha's mayor. Different people like the Kenosha County's attorney, their corporation counsel. I'm about to start adding Racine Corporation Counsel, because this is ridiculous. Because I really sit there and they got to talk to me about kind of accountability, placement protection, compliance, services, and support. The present levels and the academic achievement of the professional performance for my son is very important. These things, like they don't give me progress reports. They're fucking putting fake grades on my son just so they can look like they are great teachers. I don't appreciate that. And then, like I said, they must be hacking into my phone. I don't know if they hacking or whatever, but I don't appreciate them all watching my Facebook page as they are fighting me and against me. They're exploiting me and exposing themselves to my deepest things, and they're fighting me. That's inappropriate. You see what I'm saying? And for them to tell me that I can't record them, but they're fucking watching my Facebook videos and watch on my stories and stuff that don't have shit to do with them. How do me making a peanut butter and jelly, you know what I'm saying, have fucking to do with the principal at Jerstead?
Yep. What you need to do is call the Central School Office, Racine Unified Central School Office, and voice your opinion because it's a school matter.
Nope, I already have. I wrote a letter even when I was in. No, this is a criminal matter too. They are. And I am serious. Whether you are, if you don't qualify, I'm gonna have to make a report because it does. Whether you guys want to do the work or not, I have literally reported crimes that they are doing, and it's yeah, it is. But you know what? This is a matter of myself. Only reason why I'm reporting it to you because I was told, I asked, and you all, Racine Unified School District is in your government. Okay, and that's the only reason why I'm reporting, because I'm going to handle these matters. If you don't want to handle it, you don't have to, but I want you to document this because I am not about to sit here and lose my fucking life. Okay, because that's what they're trying to do, give me a clinical death. And what they're trying to do is put me through a whole bunch of stuff so everything can be done and they can take Tyrell, just slip Tyrell right away from me and my mom or whoever. And they're already put in the process in the court. So what they're doing is they put a court order attorney. That Gerard Delvillo, he is a mess. And I was told that he is the reason why I got Chapter 51. And the attorney, Benjamin Swartz, told me that the Chapter 51 came from him and it wasn't supposed to have anything to do with the criminal case. But they tying it all together and blaming it on Racine, though.
Yeah.
And so this is a serious issue, and it's like, why are they trying to take my son from me? Because like, I know that sometimes when someone dies, they have to go to court and see who the child will go to, and they're already trying to put my son in foster care and all that. For what? The case is illegal. They gave me a court-appointed attorney. She should not even be letting this case go any fucking further. She know that it's illegal. She won't talk to me. No, they got 2 attorneys that are refusing to return my emails and every fucking thing. She won't send me the information. She keeps saying that she's going to send me stuff. She have not sent it yet. They just don't care. And then I had a meeting with them they give me 30 minutes a fucking month to talk to them about my son. I emailed them. They said if I don't have a house, if I don't have a job and all this stuff, I can't see my son. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's illegal. And so I had an appointment with them. And then I missed the one appointment, but it does not matter. You know, if I miss the appointment, I call them or whatever, and they're supposed to email me back. They won't email me back. They've stolen child support money without my permission. I mean, it's just a fucking mess. Without court orders, it's just a mess. And I understand if you don't want to take on the responsibility, if you're not going to look into it, but I made reports. It's this other now, principal there now, I suppose, a different one from last year, but it's just a mess, and I do not know what are they hiding.
Yeah, that I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna. I got your information. I wrote down a lot of information of what you told me. I will have this documented and look into this myself and see what else I can come up with. So I will start writing this up and seeing where I can get to, Miss Davis.
Mom, Jasmine Renee Davis. Make sure you don't call me Miss Davis. Make sure you put Jasmine Renee Davis, JASMINE space RENEE space DAVIS, please, because I just want my life. But the problem is, I'm talking about academic achievement, getting my son out of special education. They get paid more money for special education, but they're not using the money. They're not teaching. They're not abiding by the legal binding law. This is a serious matter. Department of Public Instruction, right now, they complaining, they're going to defund Department of Education and all this different stuff. But they are messy. They won't return my emails. I've been trying to, even earlier this year, back in March, I've been trying. They're refusing to email. They did not want me to participate, and they're going to use my mom and call my mom and ask my mom, does she want to do the IEP or the individualized education plan again? And my mom said, no, we already had one. But they didn't tell my mom that I was trying to make sure that I put my input, because they were ignoring me through the whole meeting last year. And I had recorded, I made a police report with your agency. And then so please do not tamper with it. Don't mess with it. Leave it. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is they refused, and they said the Guardian said no. So they refused, and they were fighting me, and they have been fighting me for the longest of fucking times. And I do not know why. But I've been asking them to make my son be at his grade level. And they have to, though. I'm so serious. They have to. That is the law. Everything that I ask of my son, they're supposed to give it to him. In this individual, and every time I say, hey, I want to make a change, they're supposed to make it. And they are refusing. That's illegal. These are legal agreements. This is the law. And they are defrauding. And that's a crime. That's, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to try to figure out their license, whatever. And they don't want to face up on a computer. But it's a real strange thing that only with them, my screen record don't even have any voice to it. Like they're trying to mute me. It's so messed up. I don't know how the fuck that is happening. And this is just where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? This is my language, and this is my grammar, and this is just who I am. And I appreciate you hearing me or whatever, but this is a serious matter.
Yep, and I'm gonna write this up and everything, and I'll look into it. So I will start this now, and hopefully I can get it done by the end of my shift, and I'll look into it.
Oh, another thing, I don't appreciate them talking about love to my son and shit like that. That is inappropriate. I do not want them addressing that. I told them they need to report themselves to their human resource.